Hi, I'm Jamie Chadwick reporting from Expana. More than 10 weeks after the war in the Middle East began, mounting supply losses from the Strait of Hormuz are depleting global oil inventories at a record pace, says the IEA in their monthly global oil report released on Wednesday. During what is undoubtedly a fragile ceasefire, oil prices remain volatile on the uncertainty surrounding whether or not the United States and Iran will reach a deal to end the conflict, and when progress will be seen with regard to opening the strait fully. Tanker traffic remains restricted, with the IEA reporting supply losses from Gulf producers already exceeding 1 billion barrels. The IEA also expects global oil demand to contract as higher prices and a deteriorating economic environment weigh on consumption across sectors. German shipping company Hapag-Lloyd, the world's fifth largest container line by capacity, reported revenues in its mainliner shipping business fell 18% in Q1, due in part to weather-related supply disruptions and pressure on freight rates. While the outlook for 2026 remains unchanged, the company added that the outlook remains subject to considerable uncertainty due to the highly volatile development of freight rates and the conflict in the Middle East. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has introduced the possibility of a gas tax holiday to help ease the strain on American consumers paying 50% more at the pump since the conflict began. Legislation has now been introduced to pause the 18.4% per gallon federal gas tax and 24.4-cent diesel tax, which requires congressional approval. However, critics of the move argue that the relief to consumers is minimal and could negatively impact investments in highway safety and infrastructure. Economic uncertainty remains the critical concern, especially as the producer price index released this week showed a 1.4% advance in April, the largest advance since March of 2022. A major factor in the April advance in prices for final demand services was a 3.5% increase in margins for machinery and equipment wholesaling. However, according to the National Retail Federation, retail sales rose for the seventh consecutive month in April, even as gas prices and inflation remained stubborn, signaling possible resilience among consumers. We will continue to monitor the ongoing situation and its impact on agri-food supply and demand fundamentals. Visit expanamarkets.com to learn more.